Hey there, YouTube. I just arrived to the Grand Regency Hyatt in Long Beach. I think it's called the Grand Regency still, I don't know. Regency Grand Hyatt, whatever. So I'm here in Long Beach, California, and every November, the BNI International Conference, which is now called the BNI Global Conference, is held here. With the exception of last year, it was in Garden Grove, but for many years it's been here in Long Beach. It's beautiful. It's right on Shoreline Drive. Those of you familiar with the Queen Mary or the Long Beach Pier, as well as the Long Beach Aquarium, the Long Beach Grand Prix is actually right out here on Shoreline Drive every year. So I'm in that area. And many of you know that I've been a BNI member since May of 2009. And part of my time as a member, I was actually trained as a director and attending these conferences to do advanced training and learn how to go back to San Diego and train people in best practices of BNI. And so from 2012 to about 2014, just about 3 years, I was on the director's team and attending this conference every year to sharpen my skills and learn how to better conduct business networking from the relationship building perspective. I met some amazing people. I'm sure I'm going to run into them while I'm here. I'm excited about that. But one of the things that I like to talk about when it comes to networking is that it's kind of like taking a flight across the country. You know, if you're in Long Beach and you're trying to fly to New York, you know it's going to take some time. And there's a time of excitement at the beginning, and then you gotta get midway through. You're like, oh my gosh, are we almost there? Like, are we almost to the result? And then you might get frustrated, then you get tired, and then you get uncomfortable, and then you're like, oh my gosh, are we ever gonna make it to New York? And then you think about getting off the plane. And I see people do this in BNI all the time. They're excited in the beginning, they do really, really well. And then they get tired, and then they jump off the plane. They're like, oh, well, I can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, it's not working. And it's like, we don't do that when we're on a plane ride to New York. We're gonna get there eventually. And you don't just go, oh, I'm not there yet, so I'm just gonna jump off the plane. You die. Okay, that's stupid. But people do this in BNI all the time, and they go, oh, well, it doesn't work, or this or that, and there's excuses. And the truth is, I learned this from my director mentor. His name is Tim Roberts, and for an entire year, he mentored me as a director. And he told me one time, he said, the difference between the most successful member and the lowest performing member is the member. The meeting is the same. The education opportunities are the same. The international training is the same. The books are the same. The podcasts are the same. I mean, everything literally that is available to us in the United States is the same every state. It's the same internationally. All the same software that we use is the same. It just comes down to the person. And it sounds overly simple and overly stated, but it's true. Especially when you're talking about an organization where the philosophy is givers gain. The more you put into something, then the more you get out of it. And that's just the way it goes. Now, at the same time I'm saying that, I'll let you know that I've received back half as much as I've put in. But I will tell you that as of this month, 8 years and 8.5 years later, I've given $600,000 of closed business to members in my chapter alone. And business I've received is just over half that. And so when people ask me if it works, if people ask me if it's expensive, people ask me if it's worth the time, I'm like, yeah. Because if you just do it for a money analysis, okay, you can argue that it makes sense for the money, but I'm talking about personal growth, I'm talking about development, I'm talking about things I've been able to teach other people to help them sharpen their sword. I'm talking about things I've learned at these conferences and from BNI materials, from Ivan Misner directly, that I've used in my own business that have helped me. That they don't do anything for BNI, but they've helped me, and they've helped me in a tremendous way professionally. So I'm grateful. I'm always excited to come here, beyond just seeing people that I love and care for, but I love coming here because I always learn something new, and I'll never stop learning. I'll never stop learning because situations change and business changes and economics change and the way we've globalization of business has changed, and now how we're doing business online has even changed, and the way people consume information has changed. Like, there's so many things. But one of the truths about it is that no matter how many times things have changed, people are still relational, and people do business with other people they know, like, and trust. And that is one of the things that draws me to this organization, that keeps me here. And I love all the people in my chapter. I've met some amazing people, some of the closest friends I have in business I've met specifically because of BNI. So those of you who might be watching this and you're like, I don't know if I should join BNI, I'm not sure if it's a good fit for my business. You know what? Talk to somebody who does something like you do and ask them how it works for your industry. And then I'd say, talk to someone who's wildly successful in BNI, regardless of their industry, and find out what makes them wildly successful in BNI, regardless of their industry. I guarantee you it's going to be the things they've learned and the way they've applied it in the chapter, the philosophy of givers gain, the process of VCP, visibility, credibility, profitability. It's going to be things like that. It's going to be core fundamentals that are done over and over and over again, and skills that are sharpened and developed over the course of time. So regardless of what industry they're in, talk to somebody who is just absolutely killing it and who's had great success so you can hear what that might be like. All right, y'all, thank you for watching. And as always, this video was monetized so that all of the ad revenue that comes from it could be donated back to charity. Thank you so much for watching, and be careful out there. Giving is contagious. You might want to share this with somebody.